Hey, adrenaline junkies. Welcome to Police Pursuit. Today we launch a new, fresh series, When People Messed with the Wrong Cops. Every reckless choice flips on instant justice mode. Buckle up. Let's roll right now, folks. A Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper clocked a white GMC Sierra at 98 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone on Missouri 13. When lights and siren came on, driver Tristan D. Lind didn't hesitate. He floored it and took off, triggering the pursuit.
Copy 248 northbound approaching double T-Tom. Slow down and brake checking 248 at 92 miles per hour.
The truck weaved, brake checked repeatedly, then suddenly jumped into oncoming lanes, pushing the risk to a critical level. The trooper immediately crossed the median and delivered a ramming hit to break the momentum. The GMC snapped offline, but kept going. Not letting up, Lind reversed back across the median to re-enter traffic, but in that unstable moment slammed into a Lexus IS 350, sending it off the roadway. The momentum collapsed as the GMC veered off and got stuck in the mud, completely disabled.
Springfield 248.
I hit him off the road. We're southbound. Oh, he just struck another car. We're at Wheeler's Livestock.
Lind bailed out and fled on foot, leaving behind the stolen vehicle, and a Taurus G2C handgun inside. Hours later, he was taken into custody. Once control starts slipping, every move makes it worse, and the ending becomes unavoidable.
Copy, black shirt, blue jeans, and...
The incident concluded with the primary suspect, Tristan Lind, being apprehended hours later and facing multiple serious charges, including vehicle tampering, fleeing, and creating substantial risk, and leaving the scene of an accident. By April 2025, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. The passenger faced a lesser charge and received probation. Fortunately, the driver of the struck vehicle was unharmed.
Well, when you guys decided to go the wrong way, I'm like, I can't allow that. So then I had to hit you so that way we didn't kill anybody.
A suspect was killed after a pursuit in Jurupa Valley. After fleeing for nearly an hour and hitting spike strips, a failed grappler attempt was followed by a crash into a concrete wall. Deputies later found the suspect with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Once control breaks, the ending comes fast. On December 5, 2025, troopers assisted Polk County SO in locating a gold Chevy Malibu that had previously fled. The vehicle was spotted at 91 miles per hour in a 45 zone, and when lights were activated, the driver refused to stop and accelerated, initiating a high-speed pursuit.
Yo, he's brake checking me. He's brake checking me. Let's try to pin him right now. Go ahead, we're gonna touch the base,
During the chase, the driver taunted officers while driving recklessly, nearly striking vehicles while merging onto I-4. A pit maneuver was attempted from behind, but the driver brake-checked aggressively.
Into the interstate. He's going to make a circle. Ram the 50 on Silver Loop Road going back under I-4. He's now under I-4 on Silver Loop.
And slipped past. A second attempt followed, but the vehicle veered off an embankment and briefly traveled the wrong way, forcing units to disengage and reset. The vehicle was lost momentarily before being relocated on Robson Street, where both occupants were taken into custody without further incident. The search revealed 2.1 grams of fentanyl on the passenger, and the driver, Dress XL Robinson, had an active felony warrant. The longer the escape is forced, the faster control collapses, and the ending never favors the one running.
What's going on? Hey, we're gonna need you guys. He's bad now. What's going on?
On June 20th, 2023, Trooper Grant was notified that the 10th Judicial Drug Task Force, DTF, was in pursuit of a silver Chevrolet Impala, Arkansas 373YCU and requested assistance. At approximately 4:09 p.m., the pursuit began on U.S. Highway 63. The vehicle was traveling northbound at high speed and driving recklessly. A backseat passenger threw a black bag containing multiple stolen firearms, signaling right away that this was far more serious than a simple traffic stop, a highly dangerous situation.
31 words that will stop again.
Dropped more than dollars.
At 4:11 p.m., Trooper Grant executed the first TVY to stop the car, but the Impala regained control. Just a minute later, a second TVI sent the vehicle into a ditch and into the tree line. All suspects bailed and fled into the woods. This highlights how critical, timely, and precise TVI decisions are. Without it, the chase could have continued, putting everyone at risk.
Orange is Cherokee County unit.
TVI.
Not directly in the area, they have been notified. It looks like they were 2 to 3.
From the TVI footage, notice closely. One suspect was thrown from the vehicle, giving troopers a chance to quickly subdue them.
Rolled out. They're running.
Trooper Grant captured Quentine Lowe after a short-foot chase, then pursued the remaining 2 suspects. Exiting the woods into a field, the 2 attempted to hide in a red barn. Trooper apprehended Dash and Cobb near a fence, maintained a secure perimeter, and with Trooper Moore entered the barn to arrest Dante Lowe. The coordinated effort ensured no one escaped and no injuries occurred.
I'm gonna release my dog! My dog's gonna bite you!
Ultimately, all suspects were returned to the original location, checked by EMS, and transported to Monticello Police Department. The vehicle was towed. The driver, Ladarian Pugh, was apprehended by Pine Bluff Police and charged with fleeing, minor in possession of a handgun, possession of a machine gun, and receiving stolen property. Looking at the full sequence, it's clear that decisive action, precise TVI maneuvers, and coordinated teamwork prevented a potentially catastrophic outcome. The 2 consecutive TVs that brought the stolen, weapon-carrying Impala to a stop highlight decisive action, precise timing, and tight coordination by the troopers in an extremely dangerous situation. From the high-speed pursuit to the arrests in the woods and the barn, every step of the operation was clearly controlled. But once the suspects had already thrown firearms out of the vehicle, was continuing to flee ever really a smart choice? Romello Ware is set to stand trial on November 3rd following a pursuit on I-55 on August 8th. After being spotted with expired tags and no seatbelt, he didn't stop. He hit the gas, pushing speeds to around 75 miles per hour.
Boy Robert Williams, 7933. Boy Robert Williams, 7933. Trying to get him to stop at the...
Units stayed tight, applying pressure. But the Accord kept its line. No more waiting. A trooper closed in and delivered a decisive TVI. The impact broke traction, sending the vehicle straight into the concrete barrier.
TBI.
But it still didn't end there. Ware tried to limp the car along the shoulder in a last attempt, until a final ramming maneuver completely shut it down. The vehicle locked up, and the situation was over.
Come on! Stand up! Come on, stand up now! Come on! Stand up! Walk back to me! Walk back to me! Take it right! Step left! Step left!
He was taken into custody at the scene. Inside the car, alcohol, marijuana, and related evidence. The longer the escape is forced, the faster control slips, and the ending never goes the driver's way.
One. How much can you do it? 1, 2, 3. All right, get over here. Look what you did to our vehicles, man.
It's gonna be on Southampton Road. Can't read the tags. It's gonna be a gray.
While patrolling the area of Southampton Road and West Fayetteville Road, officers observed a vehicle with heavily tinted windows and a suspicious license plate. When they attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the driver fled, speeding through the Park Place apartments and repeatedly re-entering Godby Road, at times driving against traffic and running red lights.
We're gonna be making a right onto Godby. All right, just made it right back onto Southampton, going back towards.
The pursuit continued as the vehicle turned onto West Fayetteville Road, reaching speeds of 102 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. The driver maintained reckless behavior on wet roads, losing traction multiple times before ultimately losing control completely and crashing into a wooded area off the roadway.
Hey, come around me, take over. Come around me, take over. Speed's gonna be 100, traffic is light. It's gonna be going.
After the crash, the suspect fled on foot into the wooded area but was quickly pursued. Officers deployed a taser and successfully took the suspect into custody after a short chase.
He's behind me, 41, hold traffic.
The driver was identified as Collins, who has had a suspended driver's license since 2021 and is wanted out of Fulton County for murder by vehicle. A search of the vehicle revealed a fraudulent VIN, and it was confirmed to be stolen out of DeKalb County. Inside, officers found approximately 1.4 pounds of marijuana, along with a scale and packaging materials hidden under the driver's seat. The suspect was transported to Clayton County Jail, evidence was secured for processing, and the vehicle was towed from the scene. Cherokee County deputies identified a wanted suspect from Ackworth and moved in to take him into custody. Instead of complying, the driver fled, triggering a pursuit through local roads. The situation escalated quickly. The suspect drove recklessly before crashing, but it didn't end there. He immediately fought with a deputy during the arrest, turning it into a physical confrontation. The struggle left a deputy injured, and a patrol vehicle was also struck amid the chaos. Additional deputies and a Georgia State Patrol trooper moved in, overwhelming the suspect and bringing the situation under control. He now faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault on an officer, fleeing, reckless driving, obstruction, and drug possession. When escape turns into confrontation, every second adds risk, and the outcome only gets worse the longer it continues. While patrolling Pine Drive near Crest Ridge, High Deputy Ford saw a white vehicle and a black female trying to open its rear door. As I approached, the driver sped off, leaving her behind. My radar recorded 64 miles per hour in a 35 zone. I initiated a traffic stop, but the driver fled through a plaza, entered oncoming traffic, and turned onto multiple streets with lights off. Additional deputies intercepted him near Forest Parkway, but he emerged onto I-295 East, reaching 100 miles per hour.
He turned around. He's
Lieutenant Kari attempted a pit maneuver as the driver exited onto Clark Hall but failed. The suspect ran red lights, drove on the wrong side of the road, and tried to enter the airport's international terminal. I rammed the vehicle to stop the threat. The suspect, later identified as Mr. Hunt, escaped through the window and fled. Deputy Jones tasered him after multiple warnings, and we took him into custody.
Personal assistant on your connected phone.
Put your fucking hand behind your back. Put your hand behind your back. You gonna get away, did you? Yeah, you thought you was gonna get away. Yeah, you thought it was gonna happen. I don't play like that. You wanna play like you wanna kill some people.
Mr. Hunt was checked by EMS and booked on 16 charges. A search of the rental vehicle revealed cash and signs of drug distribution. The female was released. My patrol car was towed due to damage. Clayton County, Georgia. Blackhawk units were patrolling the Connolly area when they spotted a vehicle that had been reported stolen just hours earlier. The suspect vehicle merged onto I-285, and when deputies initiated a traffic stop, the driver chose to flee, kicking off a high-speed pursuit.
Pursuit. Ready, I'll be in pursuit. Jones, call it.
As the chase continued on to Interstate 75, deputies observed the suspect driving erratically and dangerously, seizing a gap in traffic. They quickly executed a PIT, sending the vehicle spinning into the concrete median and bringing it to a stop. The armed suspect was apprehended without injury or further resistance.
Stand by for the pit. Pit. Woo! Crashed into the wall. We're right before the Terra Road. I'm at Terra Boulevard. Hold traffic.
After his arrest, the suspect claimed he thought the Clayton County Sheriff's Office had a no-chase policy and believed he could simply drive away. Deputies corrected that misconception, stating, not only are they authorized to pursue, but they are also trained and cleared to end chases quickly by forcing fleeing vehicles off the road to protect the public. Callaway County, Missouri. On March 14, 2022 at 1:58 p.m., a trooper observed a white Nissan Rogue traveling 95 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone on US 54. When the trooper attempted a traffic stop, the driver fled, initiating a high-speed pursuit through Jefferson City. The Rock reached speeds over 100 miles per hour, made unsafe lane changes, and eventually crashed into multiple vehicles at the intersection of US 50 and Dix Road. After the crash, two men fled from the vehicle. One, later identified as Malik Miller, ran on foot but was apprehended by Jefferson City police officer Aaron.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Somebody run! Get out of the car! Get out! Get on the ground!
PD is in around.
Get the fuck down! Motherfucker was trying to stop, bro.
A search of Miller revealed 2 loaded pistols, 219 grams of suspected methamphetamine scale, and $2,086 in cash. He was found to be a convicted felon.
It's a black male running towards the long.
Miller claimed that the passenger, Myron Mahaney, had been driving and handed him the bag before fleeing after medical treatment. Miller was transported to the Cole County Jail. The firearms, drugs, and cash were seized as evidence and submitted for analysis. On May 11, 2025, around 2 a.m., I-Trooper Alejandro Contreras Diaz participated in a joint operation with the Orange County Sheriff's Office targeting illegal street takeovers. Multiple vehicles were recorded via social media, performing dangerous stunts and blocking intersections, in violation of Florida Statute 316.191.
He's running.
Yeah, I just want to...
During enforcement efforts, I observed a vehicle involved in a takeover performing donuts in the roadway. The passenger was recording the stunts when I attempted to block the vehicle using my marked FHP unit with emergency lights. The driver, later identified as Martin Tashian Johnson, fled by driving over a median and into oncoming lanes. A pursuit ensued, ending in a crash on McCoy Road. Both Johnson and passenger Darian Samuel Mays fled on foot. I pursued Mays but lost sight. Johnson unlawfully entered a gated facility, AE.
I got multiple vehicles. Who's driving this? You crashed? I got one crashed out over there. There's like 3. There's a Charger crashed out. He's got on foot.
Mr. Johnson's ID and his wallet were recovered from the vehicle. Both suspects were later located and arrested. They face multiple charges, including reckless driving, fleeing, resisting arrest, and trespassing. On March 29, 2022, a Brookhaven officer spotted a man riding a bicycle in the middle of Peachtree Road in Atlanta, creating a hazard. When the officer attempted to stop, the rider, later identified as Christopher Washington, suddenly accelerated and tried to flee.
Osborne Road, self-lane northbound, just struck my car.
Despite being on a bicycle, Washington pushed to escape. ignoring commands and forcing the officer into a short but active pursuit through the roadway.
Radio, he's going down Osborne by Package Center. Get on the ground, do it now! Taser deployed, taser missed, subject southbound.
The attempt didn't last long. He was eventually stopped and taken into custody without further escalation. Washington was charged with obstruction, possession of cocaine, hit and run, and attempting to elude even small attempts to run. Only stack more charges once you choose to flee. The outcome only gets worse.
I'm clear.